Yeah, boy.
What up, guys?
What up, brothers?
Yo,
Yeah.
Bolt Bros are in the house. Here we
Bolt
go.
Bros.
Hey, we're here to talk pregame about the Titans-Charger game, week 2, big game. So let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. So Bolt Bros, let's go.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Oh, yeah.
Wow, here
Yeah,
we
yeah,
are.
yeah.
Here we are, week 2, guys. Week 2. So, we got a lot of slides that we want to run through, guys, here. So we're just going to kind of jump through the slides. Obviously, throw in your comments, questions, everything like that. We will get to that after the slides and such. But we always appreciate you guys tuning in to the Bolt Bros. Here we go.
100%, y'all. Yeah, and we see some of you guys' thoughts here. I know Aether's here. We got a few folks filing in. So let's get into it. All righty, guys. So let's recap a little bit of what happened last week. James, you want to talk a little about this? And then we can all kind of talk a bit about this and then get into Titans and everything we're going to see this week.
Absolutely. First off, it was awesome being at SoFi. All 3 of us were there. Even Bolt Sis was there too.
Bolt Sis,
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was just a great being at SoFi. It was hot as balls out there, but hey,
it was
we
warm.
were sweating. We were just sweating. Hey,
Yep.
I live in Arizona and it's hot. And that was hot, but it was humid. So I was just dripping all over the place, man. It was crazy.
we got a little bit of humidity out here, so it's like
that humidity is no joke, man. I feel bad for the people in Florida, man.
not much, not as much as like Tennessee though, too, where like it's pretty humid out there. I mean, I lived out there for a while, so yeah.
Oof, yeah, that's brutal. Well, see what it is like this weekend. I heard it's supposed to be in the 70s, supposed to be pretty good weather. So
Beautiful.
we'll see where it goes. But basically what I kind of do, a little bit of the recap of the Dolphins game. I know it's already past week 1 and everything like that. We're past it and everything too. But hey, guys, big thing. Are we a running team? We had Austin Eckler, Joshua Kelly just kill it. 224 total yards, 40 carries, 3 TDs. I mean, awesome to be able to watch too. On top of that, our O-line looks stellar throughout the game.
Yep.
Outside of the last drive and everything too, but just to give a shout out to Rashawn Slater versus Bradley Chubb, basically just destroyed him throughout all the game. 24 pass blocking snaps, 0 pressures allowed, no sacks. Basically continues to be a monster all around. So
Let's go, Slater.
love seeing that.
Amazing.
You got a good O-line. You got a healthy O-line. You got a healthy run game on top of that, guys. So
And a healthy Justin Herbert.
and a healthy Justin Herbert too. So
100%. Good point. Good point.
Even better. So love seeing that, guys, and we will need to have this run game show up once again for this week for us. So I'm excited about it and excited about this game all around. But I know going to the next slide too, Andrew, you had some comments on some things that you wanted to point out a little bit from the Dolphins game too.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things I did want to talk about, some things that really the NFL is changing. Not changing. NFL is a copycat league. We all know this, boys and girls, right? So, but this is an example of what we are already starting to see teams copy, and this is the pre-snap motion that we saw with Tyreek Hill. And in this case right here, you see Tyreek Hill moving. By the way, he was all over the field, all over
100%.
Yeah. And like he would move to the top, move to the bottom, he'd move to the side, he'd line up as a running back, then go out. But why they're doing this is because we jammed him at the line last year. They took that away from us completely. Look at where he's lined up. There's no way J.C. Jackson could jam him. There's no way.
Right.
So he's a free release at that point. Right now here, you pretty much have, safety high, J.C. Jackson with safety high, but they could move Tyreek to the other side and then J.C. would have to run to the side. I think we played man 80% of the time last game, 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Clearly that did not work. Okay.
Definitely not.
So it's something to think about moving forward, but I just want to say, bottom line, this is a big part of, you're going to see a lot of pre-snap motion in the league. And actually, Kellen Moore does it quite a bit. The other one is this right here. We need to clean this up. This is a really bad example of just not covering people properly, not in quarters or zones. They don't know where they're supposed to be. Derwin comes down. Davis is going there on the same guy, two guys free release on the left side. Luckily, Tua's looking to the right, but holy smokes, those guys were wide open right there. So something to look for today. Again, we all know that the Titans are more of a running team. We're going to talk more about that, but it's important, guys. Like we were clearly not in the right position in a lot of plays.
And the thing about it is we just hope that we clean this up, and a lot of things that I talked about, and maybe I feel like I'm trying to just say, hey, look, I told you so. We should have had a little bit of snaps in preseason just with the defense and the offense. Now, once again, what's 1 or 2 snaps, one to 2 drives with them? It might not sound like much, but it also gets the wiggles out. It kind of just puts people on the same page. It could help out a little bit with making sure you understand each other's assignments and positions and everything too. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it would have been nice. Now, once again, I'll say Dolphins is one of the best offenses in the league. If you see all the headlines, everybody's saying, hey, they could easily be the top offense in the league and everything too.
Right.
Also, at the same side, I think we could be one of the top offenses too. So, there's 2 sides to the coin on this thing, guys. And we held our ground on that game. Yeah, we did end up losing, but hey, if we show up scoring 34 a game, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, and I think there was a statistic. I think it was 15-4 when Herbert when the Chargers defense only gives up 29 points, right? So it's like 29 points is still a lot of damn points.
That's a lot of points. Yeah.
You just got to sit back and say, okay, like the defense needs to step up. Now, again, I keep hearing what people are saying. The defense is pissed. I'm pissed. Okay, well, let's see it. Talk is one thing and actions are another, right? So
100%.
yeah, I'm a little, I want to see this defense step up. I mean, it's been a little frustrating for me. So anyhow,
100%.
But again, Tyreek Hill is a really tough man to cover, period. I am very curious to see how Bill Belichick covers him this game. If I had to guess, just out of a general thought, is he'll probably put his number 2 and then have a 1 high safety dedicated to Tyreek Hill the entire time. You are on him 100%. And then secondarily, you'll put your number 1 on like Jalen Waddle, and they'll man him up and say, okay, you go for this guy, and then the rest is going to be zone. But again, that's really difficult because that's all about communication. And to your point, week 1, you're not in live reps, and
right.
It's different when you're playing only the Chargers and you see one offense the entire time. You're not seeing that offense at all until that exact moment. And we got a hard draw, right? Miami was a very tough team to get week 1 because they do things so differently than anybody else, right?
Yeah.
We could be seeing the rebirth of Air Coryell, completely different offense style, So,
right.
And Acre, again, throw your questions out. Yeah. Toss your questions out, folks, as well. Go ahead, James. What was your thought?
I was just going to say it's going into just a small recap of week 1. It was an absolute mess for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Last week. So it's odd for me to say this, but I feel like if that win was to happen for the Chargers, it was more of a luxury win than anything. Because now, obviously, you could only lose 1 game a week anyways, or win 1 game a week. But at the same side, there's a lot of really good teams that lost.
Yeah.
This week 1. So it's kind of like that luxury side of things of where it would have been nice to have a win, but at the same side, it's didn't kill us by any means for losing. And we're not 1 game back from a lot of really good teams in the NFL, or at least specifically the AFC.
I want to actually know, did any of you did any of you guys actually see if how many teams that actually won or lost, based off of their preseason? Obviously we know the Chiefs, they started their starters in the preseason and they lost. But then, we know the Chargers, we didn't really start our starters, but we lost. So, how many teams that started their starters in the preseason lost week 1 versus how many did not,
Yeah. And I want to say Ryan Tannehill did not play. Justin Herbert obviously did not play. Matthew Stafford, they
Vikings
ended up getting a win. Yeah. Geno Smith, I don't think played in preseason. I could be wrong on that. But the thing about it is, it is something to where there is truth to that idea of teams that do not play their starting quarterbacks in preseason, they end up losing generally week 1. So, I mean, Josh Allen, I know Josh Allen did end up, I think he did start kind of early on.
Yeah, he played a few games. Yeah.
Had
a horrible game. Holy smokes, he was terrible. Wow. I couldn't believe how bad he was.
Poor guys. Like, I mean, he had a bad game, but even to say going into this game, we could talk about Ryan Tannehill and his terrible game, by the way, too. So I would start. Let's just jump into the slides again on that.
Yeah.
We'll chat more about this game.
Yeah. Well, so again, Eckler's not traveling.
Nope.
Deion Henley most likely is not going to play, and Eric Kendricks is most likely not going to play. So we'll talk more about that a little later on. But Joey Bosa is questionable. Doubtful is usually that's pretty much out. That's out usually. So those 4 are not going to play. Now, so where I think this is interesting is this most likely will mean that we will, well, Ryan, perfect point. You're exactly in my head. But I'm probably see more Thule snaps. We're going to see a lot of Thule today. He's going to be most likely playing opposite side of Khalil Mack, but they'll most likely bring somebody up from the practice squad. They brought up Brevin Allen last time.
Yep.
Maybe they bring up Andrew Farmer this time. I don't know, from Lane College. So that could happen. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out. But I'm sure they'll bring an edge rusher up tomorrow. So I want to track and monitor that. So I'm looking at Twitter as well as we're talking because something could come up soon.
Yep. The big thing about this too, and obviously for the Chargers, you start looking at where do these all hammy injuries come from all of a sudden,
right.
Dude? Like,
do you not know how to stretch? What's going on here?
Jeez, What is going on here? Cold baths for everybody. Let's go in the ice bath. Let's do this, guys. Come on. But like, it's kind of tough to be able to see that. Like, now, once again, doubtful generally means they're out. But at the same side, you have Chris Rump, who basically played 3 days in a row and is considered doubtful, which is a little strange to me, in my opinion, because if he's played 3 days in a row at limited, not at full, you would assume that they're just trying to see if his hamstring is going to recover well after 3 days of practice. So, but the one thing I'm going to say about the Titans, I mean, you got Amari Hooker out. You got Christian Fulton out.
Yep.
This is a very, very susceptible defense that we could basically attack the back end of the defense quite a bit. They're basically going to have guys that have not had a lot of field time as cornerbacks. So you're going to have Mike Brown as a strong safety. You're going to have Trey Avery as the right cornerback who does not have a lot of field time. Now, I would assume that they would probably end up pushing Roger McCreary over there to the right cornerback, but that is going to be an area that we can fully attack on this defense.
Right.
And I fully expect Herbo Bombs involved in this game. I fully expect that it's going to be a lot more downfield passing in this game. So I'm excited to be able to see that. Now, the thing about it is DeAndre Hopkins, we'll see if he's going to play or not. I mean, based upon the interviews, he kind of was like, hey, I'm leaving it up to the coaches. I'm leaving it up to the organization. If they call my number, I'm ready to go. Now, that doesn't sound like he's like, hey, I'm 100% healthy. Why aren't they calling me?
Right.
It's more just like, hey, whatever the doctors say, I will do kind of thing. So,
if I had to guess, I don't know. I bet you it's a game time decision. I bet you he suits up.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes out, does a little warm up, tries to run on it. See where he's at on it. But dude, they're banged up too. I mean, we're banged up. They're banged up. The good news is we have some depth, right? I think our defensive line did pretty well. We're going to talk more about, Tennessee, but look, I think, we stopped the run fairly well last game. We're going to have this. Hey, they're completely different teams, period. Right.
Completely.
They are nowhere near the same team. So it's going to be completely different.
I say, like, I'm still mad that we're banged up after week 1 already, though. Like, what the heck is this? Like, people were saying like in the chat, hey, we're cursed, Like, I mean, it's just like, dude, what's going on, man? Like, I think I was saying this all week. I was like, Joey Bosa, man, I think he needs to sleep in a cryo chamber or something like that, like to heal his wounds, something. No.
Yeah, he if you watch Star Wars, remember when that
Han Solo?
It's called the back to tank.
Yeah, the back to tank. Yeah, we need a back to tank. Yeah, I need that too.
That'd be
I
dope.
Both my back to tank.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that might not be a bad idea, actually. Maybe we should make a shirt for that.
Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen.
All right, I'm gonna make some notes. I'm gonna make some research and like how to make a real back to tank for Joey Bosa
exactly.
specifically.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah,
Let's make that happen.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It makes you think, when did he even pull his hammy too? But I mean, as I watched him in the Dolphins game, he just looked slow. He looked slow to me. So it could have been early on. It's just sad to be able to see that he just gets injured so frequently, man. So frequently. And I hope that he could be on the field this week. But I'm gonna say I'm excited to be able to see Thule. I mean, he did some damage against the Dolphins and probably was the only defensive end that actually really did something for us last week. I mean, he put up the TT on a tackle for a loss on a running play. He had pressure on Tua too. He looks very energetic. He looks very, very active at the line. I'm excited to be able to see him out there this week and see how many snaps he gets and how effective he could be.
Yeah. And again, we'll probably do a quick video maybe tomorrow morning if, there's a transaction from practice squad, because again, some of these folks we might see, like, what if Khalil Mack gets hurt, right? I mean, we don't want to talk about it, but if that happens, then someone's got to step in there. We did re-sign Ty Shelby to the practice squad. He was injured like a month and a half ago, was injury let go and then brought back, obviously, after he got cleared again. So pretty interesting conversation. Okay. So enough of that. We're going to talk more about it. And guys, again, throw your questions out. Please just throw your questions out. We're going to get to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few more slides. Then we're going to go to your questions and just come on through. So just keep going through. And GTR, man, hey, you were thinking just like us. We wanted to talk about the running game right now. So James, you want to talk about the running game a little bit? And we'll kind of have a discussion around that.
So the idea of it is that these are going to be our three guys. Dotson, Spiller will be active in this game, which is still such an odd idea. And Joshua Kelly with a straight up gun. Look at that left arm, bro.
Man, good Lord, man. Shoot!
Wow, like a superhero. What's up, dog?
Man, oh my gosh! Yeah, is that is that a bionic arm? Like, is he like the Winter Soldier? Shoot!
It does look like it.
Look at that thing.
Yeah,
man. But hey, look, this is going to be our three-headed monster. I mean, it's going to be big for these guys to be able to keep this run game going. And to be honest, like Andrew and Kyle, when we were at the game, I mean, we were just like, man, this run game is awesome to watch. And Zion has been a beast on there. Jamari was great. They motion in a tight end for a blocking, which is why we don't have Xander Horvath anymore. We got guys that could block and be great lead blockers for our team. I think I saw a replay of one of the runs, and I want to say it might have been the long Austin Eckler run, but man, it was just every level. Like even wide receiver, Mike Williams was even a little bit involved in the blocking scheme too, which obviously the wide receivers are, but it just looks like everybody's on the same page to try to make sure this is a very, very quality run game from every single level to allow those big explosive plays for us. So
correct. Well, and I know a few people have talked about Horvath. Clearly, Kellen Moore doesn't use fullbacks. There's no value in fullbacks. If you saw, they were usually moving the tight ends. A lot of times the tight end would sign up on one side and then he would roll to the other side. And they would just do like zone read blocks to the right side and then just pull the other one to the left, or the right or whichever way, right? And so I guess the argument is that tight ends are a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, can match up a little bit more with ends.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess you're kind of splitting hairs in my opinion, but okay, whatever. But clearly Kellen Moore really likes tight ends over fullbacks. So anyways, pretty interesting situation there.
Well, and the thing about it is like you kind of look at it as fullback is kind of a dying breed and a dying position. And it's like, I get it. Xander's awesome. Ironically, the Steelers pick up Xander once again, a second fullback that we cut. They end up always picking up our fullbacks for some reason. But it's the thing is though, a tight end could be a dual purpose type product for us versus a fullback, which you feel you have four really quality running backs on the team. Do we really need a guy who could run the ball as a fullback? I don't know. I'm just looking and viewing it as that.
Let's think of it this way. All right, we've already had two linebackers injured this season.
Yep.
We dropped Horvath and we picked up Tanner Muse. Tanner Muse is a special teams player for the most part. Well, we got two linebackers that are injured right now. So we might even see some Tanner Muse out there a little bit next to Kenneth Murray, right?
Yeah.
We don't even know who's going to be next to Kenneth Murray at the moment, guys. So what are we going to do? I mean, I don't know. I mean, are we going to maybe play a lot of dime? Maybe bring Derwin down in the box? I mean, there's a lot of question marks around that with the run game. We're going to talk more about that as well. But anyways, getting off a little bit of a tangent.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do think that the advantage of having a fullback over a tight end is that the fullback will understand the running play way better than a tight end would, because he's going to try and know where the gaps are a little bit better. Like a tight end is more of a receiver, if anything, But I mean, obviously, I think tight ends are sometimes bigger, taller wise. That is. Sure. So I mean, I think that would be the advantage of having tight ends over fullbacks, I suppose.
Yeah, I think both have value, but I don't know. I think the other part of it is I think they're a little bit better. They have better hands typically, and so that's probably the deciding factor.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, so we should talk more about this as well too. Again, at least perfectly. Dude, this offensive line was freaking sick, dude. Great. Guys,
right.
If you watch the running game, okay, I have to say this: you have to be a blocking tight end in this offense. Period. Parham did a good job. McKinney did a good job. Yeah. Stone Smart did a pretty good job. Well, he wasn't in there for very many snaps, but he did go when he was in there. And so, and by the way, you said it a while ago, and I was going to make the comment that our wide receivers are finally blocking.
Yep.
Williams is blocking. Allen's blocking, and everyone's getting involved. We were horrible at that, guys, in our running game. I think that was a big reason why our running game was so bad. I remember the one Kelly broke off to the right, and it was like 25 yards. Mike Williams did a really good job blocking the corner, and I don't remember seeing that at all last season, at all. So, yeah.
Right. And it's interesting. I watched a video of there was the Niners blocking scheme. And I think it was McCaffrey with a really long run that ended up in a touchdown. And they just showed every single level of how aggressive the wide receivers, O-line were very aggressive to make sure they have him blocked, or basically the blocking scheme is perfect all the way to the end of that play. And it's just, there is that thing that with the Chargers that they've had a tough time of really finding aggressive wide receivers that are willing to block versus just wanting to be a pass catcher pretty much the entire time. So,
yep, 100%.
I think it's really good. But going to the O-line, I mean, this O-line is strong and stout, and they are just doing a great job right now. Outside of the last couple plays of the Dolphins game, that was kind of really random. But I do think, I personally might think we should have ran the ball at least. I know there was some guys stacking the box, being a lot more closer to the line and everything too. But you still had 2 timeouts. You still had a minute 40 something ish. You could have ran the ball a couple times just to kind of throw things off, push them back a little bit, show the threat versus empty backfield and knowing you're going to throw the ball. So
100%. Yeah.
So, but either which way, this O-line's great. And to be honest, that's going to be a big key to this game. Our O-line is going to be a massive key to this game all around. So.
Yeah, I think this will be another part of it. I know, and we're going to be getting into your questions, folks. So just keep throwing them out there. We're going to go back up and then come down through. So we're just going to go through a couple more prepared slides, and then we'll go from there. We kind of want to have a little bit of semblance of organization. I know we tend to get off topic a lot here on this podcast, so we started thinking about let's get a little formula here first, and then we'll get some questions. Okay, so these guys right here, man, their defensive line is arguably one of the best in the league right now, and so. It's going to be tough moving these butts and guts right here, but we're going to have to do it. Yeah. I'll tell you what, dude. Okay. Zion Johnson and Jamari, I would argue, are probably some of the best guards in the league that I've seen so far. They've done such a good job of moving bodies, right? They're freaking strong. Yeah. Strong dude. So I'm very curious to see how they play against these guys right here. And again, the running game really doesn't require the blocks to be epic. They just need to be decent, right? Yeah. So that kind of takes away what these guys can do a little bit, right? You just have to move them a little bit, and then you're good to go, right? And there's enough of a seam to get at least 4 or 5 yards, guys. If you're getting 4 or 5 yards every run play, life is good.
Great.
Then they have to respect the run game. Then they have to respect the play action. And then the downfield is open, right? So that's the difference. And we did not do that last year. They didn't respect our run game at all. So anyways, bit of a rant.
I mean, the thing about it is Jeffrey Simmons is probably one of the best in the league, in my opinion. I think he's an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's
Big
amazing.
dude all around. Tier tart sounds like a French pastry.
Yeah.
But he's obviously a very, very solid player too. I mean, they have a lot of butt and gut in the middle, and it's going to require a lot of our guards. And to be honest, the key is going to be Corey Lindsley to really, really guide this thing correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, sealing off blocks, possibly you're going to have to find a way to be able to double team, push these guys out to open up some holes for our run game all around. Obviously, we need to be able to sit there and guard from Justin Herbert getting mauled or whatnot. But this is the key point, is the inside of our D line or our O line. Blocking these two guys is going to be absolutely key for us. So Jamari, Zion, and Corey Lindsley going to be absolute key for us.
Yeah. Kyle, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, looking at those their Madden ratings, like for both, like their edge rushers are like really talented. Just looking at them, like those are beasts. And so, so that's kind of what we got to really think about. But like, I think though, Slater should be able to handle him pretty solid though. Like I think he should be able to handle Danico Autry like pretty well.
Slater for sure.
I think he's going to do really well against it. I am concerned about Jeffrey Simmons though, because he's taking on Pipkins, and some like so the right side could be a little bit of an issue. So I feel like Justin Herbert's probably going to have to scramble quite a bit in order to really get through some of this game. Because looking at like their front line, I don't know if you guys saw that one from Michael McLean. Maybe the people in the chat saw his video, maybe, but he put a really good analysis about the front seven of the Titans, and they're pretty beastly. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's a definite strength of their team, but they're, like we were saying before, with Hooker being out, I think that's going to help our receivers pretty well. Our secondary is going to receivers. The secondary core is not so hot. So,
Agreed.
And they got injuries.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we already talked a little bit about this. Kenneth Murray's going to be wearing the green dot.
Okay.
I think everyone's concerned, right? So here's the thing, guys. I watched a funny clip. I sent it over to you guys I couldn't sleep last night. I had a leak in my house, which was super annoying. So I was worried about my house flooding. I watched that clip of Step Brothers when he goes, I can, this is a win-win situation for me. If you screw up, I could fire you. But if you look great, I look good to the board. This is exactly this guy's last shot to show us he's even a linebacker worth even keeping at all. We didn't sign his 5th-year contract, but this is an opportunity for him to show that he's actually worth a shit at this point, right? So, because he looked like hot garbage last week. He looked terrible, dude. Suit me up. Well, maybe not really, but
that'll look worse than hot garbage.
What are you trying to say? Hey, oh god!
Shut up, man! Shut up.
Hey, I think you need to get a little taste of some humble pie there, man. Like,
hey, man, whatever, bro. But anyways, my point is, like, look, I think it's really that situation, and Brian's probably a good point, right? We're probably going to see a rotation, Neiman, Ogbamia. Who knows? You might even see some Tanner Muse. Guys, the video I will do pregame tomorrow, or one of us will be who's going to be that second linebacker, and it's important, right? We got to figure that out.
Well, I looked at the ESPN depth chart, and it showed Tanner Muse is behind Kendricks. So, so more than likely it's going to be Tanner Muse and Kenneth Murray. But you can do some more research on it and figure it out. So
well, and again, that just brings back the conversation of Horvath, right? Well, hey, we let Horvath go, and we picked up Tanner Muse, probably more value than Horvath, especially in this offense. So if he has a ball out game, then hey, good on our coaching staff.
Well, and the thing about it is, my opinion, I think it's going to be a fair amount of OG and Nick Neiman because they've been in the defense for a while already.
Yep.
Now, Tanner Muse is a guy that, he just came here kind of recently, to be honest. Does he really know the defense at all? I mean, I think he was a 3rd round pick by the Raiders in 2020. Yeah. But he didn't pan out there. I mean, once again, the Raiders are hot garbage.
Oh, we lost.
We lost you there,
James.
Bull brought down.
Whoa, wow, what just happened there, dude? That was weird.
That was great.
All right.
Yeah, continue.
But yeah, going back to my topic there, I do think that it's just going to be probably a rotation of Neiman and OG, in my opinion, just because it has to be that way. It has to be the guys that have been in the system for a while already. Right. I'm actually kind of excited to see Nick Neiman really out there. Like, I've been a big fan of his since we've drafted him. He's just been buried in the depth chart behind like Drew Tranquil and such. So I'm excited to see him really do his thing out there. I've always thought he could be a really, really good linebacker for us. Now, it sucks that Eric Kendricks is not there. Not fun. But maybe he'll all surprise us. Maybe we put all doubtful out there just to be able to throw a curveball on the Titans, and all of a sudden everybody's healthy. Austin Eckler's in the game. Woo! Let's go.
Wow. Okay.
Let's go.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But this is also a good conversation point too, right? Hey, we got some fat guys on the defensive line as well too, right? So, we got some butt and gut, and guys were healthy, right? SJD. I think you're going to see a lot of Nick Williams, and you'll see some Austin Johnson out there. You'll see some Matlock. They did a lot of rotating last time, which I thought was a good thing. Hey, they only got 70 yards rushing. They didn't have to rush the damn ball. Okay, they could throw the ball because we were a bunch of dipshits in the way we were, covering people, for most of the game, and so this game is going to be won by these guys right here, in my opinion, right? If we could slow them down, because clearly Thrill. They ain't a whole lot to talk about with him, moving forward.
Yeah, D-line's going to be major in this game. Major in this game. And you know what? I'm going to throw out a bold prediction. I mean, if say Joey Bosa is going to be out, I'm assuming he's going to be out. I think that Thule could probably get 2 sacks in this game. I'm throwing it out there, guys.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
And
so sick.
I'm very, very much looking forward to this D-line to be able to do their job. And it's going to be necessary with Kenneth Murray kind of being in the backfield too, or as kind of being the leader in the middle of the field with basically Nick Neiman and such too. So personally, yeah. And I think, Andrew, you brought it up. I think that there might be a little bit of Derwin James more inside the box, just because they do need to be able to add another layer of support in that zone. Which I'm okay with that, but we definitely need to be able to find a way to stop the run, because we know who we're up against really in this game.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. Okay, so here's the last slide, and then we'll just go to your questions, folks. And again, throw your questions out as well too. We are going to go through everything as well. This guy right here, we got to stop this dude. By the way, I hate his hair. Does he still have those stupid?
Yeah, still's got that hair.
Shit locks.
That was last week against the Saints.
Yeah. Oh my God! Every time I see this, I'm like,
it does. It looks like a piece of dookie stuck in the back of his head. It looks like dookie
coming out of the back of his head, dude. It annoys me so bad. I'm weird. Okay, I'm weird, but it just bothers me.
I hate it too, though. Yeah.
Oh my God, like I just can't stand him, dude. Anyways, Simmy can't stand your bits. You remember that from Impractical Jokers? Remember that show?
Yeah.
We got to stop this fool right here, dude. That's it. We got to stop it. So I think if we shut him down, game is over, dude. It's done.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now this is a picture of from last week's game against the Saints where he was yeeting one of the the Saints defender there and just chucking him out of the way. And I mean, I remember hearing like the announcer or whatever, he just got all hyped, and Derrick Henry just throws the Saints defender like he just stepped on him. He was like so excited. But yeah, this is a big key. I mean, we got to find a way to stop him. I think our pass defense is going to be dramatically different this game.
Yeah.
I think it's really boils down to, can our run defense actually show up for this game? Period.
Yeah.
Because last week, it's nice to say that we only had 70 rushing yards given up on our defense, but we still got lit up through the air.
Yeah.
But you're going against one of the fastest, probably one of the most dynamic wide receivers in this game. He had 11 catches on 15 targets.
Right.
7 explosive plays over 25 yards as a team versus us. I think it was somewhat of a fluke for the defense. I expect a much more solid game this week, especially if DeAndre Hopkins is out and Ryan Tannehill. We'll see. I mean, the jury's out on him. They got 2 quarterbacks right behind him, kind of waiting, licking their chops.
Right. Yeah, Will Levis and you got Malik Willis, right? So very interesting. It's kind of weird to me that they even drafted Will Levis. I thought that was a little strange. I mean, like, do they not?
Ryan Tannehill is over the hill, so to say. There isn't that right, James?
Like, that's right. That's what I said in my weekly update. By the way, if you guys have not seen that, we're going to be doing a weekly segment of just kind of a full recap of the NFL and kind of have just fun with it. And it's an awesome segment all around. So I enjoy doing it. And so we'll do it every single week too. So keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was fun to put it together and stuff too. You know, it was good. So, but I was going to say, like, I mean, our run defense, you know, like for against Miami was pretty, was amazing, but Mostert is nowhere near Derrick Henry level. So this is going to be the real test of the week for sure. You know.
Well, Derrick Henry's a true running back, right? Mostert's a running back, obviously too. But my point is, he's kind of a small, fast, kind of like an Austin Eckler type, right? So So I mean, getting him on the edge, he could hit some corners and do some damage, right? So, all right, so we're gonna get to your questions. So we're just gonna start at the top and go all the way down. And Aether, I gotta talk trash, baby. That's what I do. I always talk trash. It is what it is. I already talked about what's his Nuggets hair. You know, hey,
Derrick Henry.
It looks like shit. Anyway. Come on, baby. Your beard looking good. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So again, guys, like and subscribe. Okay, here we go. Bold predictions. Okay, here we go. So I guess this is the first one from Aether. And again, throw your questions out, guys. We're going to go through all your questions. Just toss out your thoughts, whatever you want to go to. So
he's asking, I talked to James about this. That is me on Tuesday. This game will be physical in the trenches. You know what Tennessee brings to the table. You show up or we get run out the building. My team will show up. Yeah, no, most definitely. And that's where we kind of emphasized a lot on the lines. And, you know, going back to our only coach that has brought us to a Super Bowl, Bobby Rice, he says you win and lose games at the line. And if you don't have a good, strong D-line, you're not going to be able to have, the ability to stop them. You don't have a good O-line, same thing. You're going to get run all over. The defense is going to have their hands with you. So, got to find a way to be able to be physical in this game. I feel very strongly our O-line will do their job. I think our defense is just the question at this point. So we got to see a solid game out of these guys.
Yep.
Well, and I think secondarily, no matter what, we're going to score points.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. We're going to score points.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like even if we don't run the ball that great, we'll chuck the ball downfield, right? They got a banged up safety. We're going to score points. It's just I don't want to shoot out. I would like to see us put these babies to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Get them in a headlock, wrap them down, wrap them around, put them in a pretzel. That's right.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. And I do want to see more Thule as well too. Hey, he's going to get all the snaps for the most part, right? So I mean, yeah, he will. He'll be the guy. So
right. I mean,
again, we talk a little about K9. You know, the green dot. Look, we're going to give him enough rope to hang himself at this point, right? This is kind of make or break, in my opinion. I mean, dude, he's been with us 4 years. This is his 4th year. Wait, 4th year, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Gave up a ton to get him. And okay, brother, like, you know, you better show us something because he hasn't shown us hardly anything. You know,
I kind of talked a little bit about that on my Madden simulation. I don't know if like maybe people might not have gotten to that point or whatever when they watched it, but I kind of feel like, you know, because obviously Kenneth Murray was a Anthony Lynn guy. And I kind of want to say that I believe, because that year we also drafted, you know, Justin Herbert. So, and I want to say that I feel like Anthony Lynn did not want to draft Justin Herbert. And so this was maybe like the little give and take, you know, because they traded up for it, you know, like, I mean, and the way I think about that is because, like, you know, in a lot of business type things, especially in the film industry, is that, like, say Christopher Nolan, I have a point to this. Christopher Nolan, actually, he did, you know, Dark Knight, and then that was amazing, whatever. But and the studio wanted him to do a 3rd movie, but he didn't want to do one. So in order to do that 3rd movie, he said, let me do Inception, and then I'll do The Dark Knight. So in a lot of ways, I feel like, you know, it was kind of a thing. Well, they worked with Anthony Lynn to be like, all right, well, we'll get your guy, if you just get our guy or something like that, you know? So
and Anthony Lynn really was a Tyrod Taylor guy, and
right.
He's done nothing. He's done nothing.
I don't even. Tyrod Taylor's a bridge quarterback. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think he's a great guy. I've seen some of his tape, but like, you know, and so the way he interviews, but he's not a starter quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting point you bring up, though, because it is interesting how, just like who we talking about here, Horvath.
Yeah.
We get enamored with certain players, right? And, you know, we think, oh, this person's amazing. This person's amazing. They're going to do a great job. Well, you know, Horvath doesn't fit in Moore's system, so it doesn't matter. Like, well, what does it matter? He's not part of our system, right? He's not going to get touches. He wasn't even in the Lombardi system.
Yeah.
But again, you just ask yourself this question, you know, what did Anthony Lynn see in him that made him go, we have to go get this guy and give up so much to go get him? I mean, he looks like a specimen, but man, he's just done nothing in the league, right? So maybe he's just in the wrong system. I don't know. You know, maybe it should be for the Titans or the Steelers or who knows.
And as far as I know, this is the first time that he's been able to be the guy, the general on our defense in the middle of the field. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever done this at all. So this will be very, very interesting to see how he ends up working in this system and how he controls things. Because this is the guy that sees a lot of things too. And he tells the D-line and communicates with them a lot.
Yeah.
So
he's literally got to give him the signals about what the heck's going on. But I mean, at the same side, like, I think it's a good thing for him because like other people have said in the training camp and stuff that people were giving him high praise. So maybe he's turning it around. Maybe he's shifted his focus, you know, like him. But then again, too, like this is his essentially contract year here. So maybe he really does want to show up and actually and then try and get that big second contract for some other team, you know?
You know, it would have been really nice to have Deion Henley in this game.
Yeah,
it would have been really nice to have him
really
in this
huge
game, you know. So
well, you got to wonder, right? I mean, he's doubtful. You never know. Maybe he'll try and go. But the last thing in the world I want to do is have him get hurt, and then we're in real trouble.
Make it longer. Yeah.
Now there is one positive. We did not talk about this as far as K9 being there. He is a very good run stopper. That's really why Anthony Lynn wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's never really shown it in the NFL in any way, shape, or form. He's missed his gaps and his assignments many times. Horrible coverage, horrible coverage guy. So the way I would assume they would use him is, okay, Kenneth, wherever that running back goes, that's you. That is your job. You go with him 100%. Yeah. You are on him 100%. Maybe spy the quarterback. Spy. Yep, spy him and then just go after the running back, period. If he goes to the flat, blow him up. Yeah. That's what I would assume they would use him for. I mean, that's what I would use him for, but either way, what do I know? Okay. Dotson. Well, he had one touch last week, or one snap, I should say. He was in for one play. You know, I will say this. I think Dotson is over Spiller at this point. And we all know Spiller's going to suit up as well. So they're going to have the three-headed monster. But I do think – I think they're picking Dotson over Spiller, which is like crazy to me. And I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Like, why did they not sign? I mean, I understand. Well, you may the one thing I will say, if you do see more Spiller, it would only be because they want to make sure Dotson's okay for special teams as well.
Sure.
So because if Darius Davis gets hurt, then he's the next, special teams guy. So I don't know. Interesting thought there.
I'm excited to see Spiller out there and see what he does. Cause I mean, I think preseason, he looked good. Like he did pretty good in preseason. I mean, we're going to hang our hat on that Rams game like crazy, but he did play extremely well in preseason and
very fast.
Been very fast, but it's just wild that you go from a 4th round guy to basically an undrafted guy and putting him basically as RB3 over the 4th round guy. Now, once again, not every pick works out. Not every pick works out at all, but it is just interesting. Like, what are they seeing that we're not seeing with Spiller? I really do hope to see him just really show out in this game and show that he is, an NFL worthy running back. And, I think this scheme is built for any running back, in my opinion. If you go back to, Dallas, Tony Pollard became a very, very strong running back for them, and Zeke became kind of almost secondary.
Well,
California knows what to do with the run game.
You're perfectly segmenting why running backs don't get paid anything nowadays because they're a dime a dozen, right? So it doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. We'll just go. We got 4 guys here that can run the ball, and you're that much better, but I could pay this guy $2 million a year. Why would I pay you 12? There's no reason for it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because you can all get injured anyways. So look at Austin Eckler. He's already hurt. He might be out another week too. You never know how long this is going to take.
Yeah.
What if Kelly balls out? Well, let's not bring him back. Let him sit for a while,
right.
Guys, it's something to think about. It's really something to think about.
Yeah.
And then we won't have to pay him his incentives. He won't even have a shot of making those incentives at this point. So, okay. This is a good question by a Guapo. I wonder if this is my buddy, Jeff. Jeff, is that you, buddy? He always went by El Guapo. You guys know Tuna.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty disappointed we drafted Justin. If Palmer's going to start, the offense feels bland and without speed. Here's the thing. Johnson was open a lot against Miami, and he was only out, I think, 22% of the snaps, which I thought was a little strange. But he was open a lot when he was out there. I remember there were 2 plays I remember seeing. He was all the way in the end zone and 100% open. Yep. So, but Herbert just didn't get him the ball. He checked it down or did something else. I can't remember exactly what he did. So he's done his job. We just got to get him the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, the thing about it is there was one play, and I remember I pointed out being at the game. It was Justin Herbert just ran out of the pocket, and Quentin Johnston was straight up completely open in the end zone. Herbert could have made that pass, no problem.
Yes.
But obviously he ended up throwing it kind of on the flat. I think it was to Joshua Kelly where he ended up being out of bounds. And basically it was kind of like, dude, if he could have just saw that, it would have been an easy touchdown. Look, respect to the Dolphins. They have a very good D-line. They have 2 very good edge rushers. I mean, that's just what you want. Sometimes a sack is a flashy play, but a quarterback pressure could create problems. For that offense. So, and not see a play like that. So either which way, I'm pretty confident in this game based upon that you have, your starting defensive right cornerback out, and then you also do have Amari Hooker out. You're going to see a little bit more easier looks. It boils down to our O-line for our offense to just keep going.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, no, I think it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. But again, we got a pretty crowded wide receiver room, right? Yep. So this is a good point by Ryan. If we won against the Finns, the media narrative would have been all about how our run game was unstoppable and Fangio is a new defensive coordinator.
Agreed.
Isn't it interesting? Just because we lost, all of a sudden, Chargers suck. I didn't hear anybody say anything positive about our offense. We lost by 2 points.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I'm like, okay, and again, we could talk about the JC Jackson thing at the end of the second half. That was like the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my whole life, and all the above. But my point is, look, we looked fine. It was a shootout. We lost. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is. Like, a lot of people are way too butthurt about it. We lost by 2 points. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't. We had the opportunity at the end of the game, but it didn't happen. So I guess that's the most heartbreaking thing about it. But it was a shootout. And we lost the shootout. That's okay. That's the end of story. Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. What if we just had on that last drive, Justin Herbert gets us 30-something yards or whatever it might have been, field goal range, Dicker the kicker kicks the game-winning field goal, game over. It's a different narrative. It's
right.
The thing is, though, Vic Fangio did talk about it, and he said, hey, I got to find a way to stop the run. We did a terrible job against the run.
Yeah.
I mean, we were almost dang near 50-50. For amount of yards passing to yards run. So it was a very even game, and you cannot give up 200 plus yards a game on the ground. And by the way, somebody just did say in our chat that Chargers actually just tweeted this. They've downgraded Austin Eckler, Eric Kendricks, and Rump to elevate 2 ahead of the game, which is here. Let me pull this article up.
Yeah, pull it up. You can share the screen too if you want.
Yep.
This would be great because this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. And actually, I remember our pregame last time. It happened right after I did the pregame, and I'm like, oh, crap. And I was like, shoot. So I had to shoot another video. So this is good that we're talking about this now. So I don't have to shoot another video, guys. That's great.
Yep. Here you go. Perfect timing. So
maybe I will just because I enjoy being on camera.
Yep. This guy, dude.
This guy.
All right, here we go. Let me share the screen right now. Boom. Here we go.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
So here you go. We have activated Brevin Allen and safety Dean Marlowe from the practice squad. So we went with a safety on top of adding Brevin Allen once again. Man, he's stoked getting called up 2 weeks in a row now.
Hey, that's good.
Weird. I would have thought they would have brought up Andrew Farmer, but Dean Marlowe is a guy from the Bills. We signed him. Oh yeah, he's a 7-year player too. Okay,
yeah,
makes sense.
So coming from James Madison, so that's where Brandon Staley's from. Remember that he did play under Brandon Staley back then. And one thing about Dean Marlowe is that he's basically played in games, so he has field time. He's been on the field. He's not some rookie thrown out there too. He was with the NFC Championship team with the Panthers as a rookie. 6 postseason games, pair of starts. So you're adding a guy who has veteran experience within the league, which is great. Brevin Allen, we've already chatted about him. Obviously, he's kind of a undrafted free agent guy out of Campbell. He's one of those guys that has great opportunity to be able to do well in this league. Now, once again, he's young in the league, kind of figuring things out. We'll see how much he ends up getting, playtime wise. I mean, Chris Rump being out now, Tooley's going to be the guy, or at least one of the guys on the side. So he's essentially the third. Brevin Allen's going to be the fourth. Joey Bosa might be in this game if they've not put him as out. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind.
He will be just like a DeAndre Hopkins. He'll probably suit up and then maybe get the wiggles out, do some stretching.
Yep.
How does it feel? And see where he's at, but that's great. By the way, again, I know that's awesome that Marlowe, we're bringing him in. That's really interesting to me that we brought him in, but I like Brevin Allen a lot. Brevin Allen is a big freaking dude.
Yeah.
And he's 260?
Something like that. Yeah.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
Big freaking dude. Right. And he's very fast. So, he went to a small school, that's why people overlooked him specifically. But anyway, so that's interesting. Okay. So we'll monitor that. We'll see if it's, video worthy. I'll probably do some posts for sure on the
Dean Marlowe page. It's weird why we brought in Dean Marlowe though, because I guess in my where my head's at is because Eric Kendricks, and then you put, Brevin Allen, you got an edge guy. Why a safety?
So my thought would be this, guys. And in the chat, give me your thoughts on this. We'll probably play more dime, which is a little weird to say, but if we play more dime, the reason why I think that would be good is you could probably put Derwin James down in the box next to Kenneth Murray. I was going to say K9, but anyways. So my thinking would be you can make Derwin James be more of an edge rusher, or he could spy Henry, or just have Kenneth Murray spy Henry, and then Derwin can bounce around, and then you could have JT Woods and also Gilman up top, and then Marlowe would just be the dime safety that they could bring in at some point. That would be my take on it, I guess. But I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? I know we got a lot of questions. Okay, so nothing.
A lot more questions coming up. We're getting some good comments in here right now. I'm keeping an eye on it too. So
okay, good. So let me all right. So let me go to Aether's first question. So, but that's good information. I'm going to do some more research on it. Okay, so first question. I know Tennessee is good against the run. We'll still run the ball, and I think that's a good question. I think we'll probably be more pass heavy this game. I would think, just because. Yeah. They got a corner out and a safety out. They're going to be exposed, right? So I think we could, let's get those gash plays, right?
Hey, one thing I was going to say too, just about that injury, and it passed my mind. Deion Henley was not downgraded, so
okay,
okay.
We'll see. That's a good point. They didn't bring up a lot. Okay, actually, we don't even have a linebacker on our practice squad, do we?
Do we don't?
No, we don't.
We don't.
Yeah, we don't. So
I think they're going to try to do pregame. Get him warmed up, see how he feels, and that'll be exciting.
This could be exciting. Yeah, that like the Ranger out there, baby. Let's go.
It gives me a little goosebumps thinking about it. I'm excited about it. Let's just play our intro again, just because Deion Henley.
Deion Henley. Yeah, Deion Henley's such a stud, dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
This is a good point right here. Any available defensive or pass rushers signed? Well, guess what? KVN is still not signed.
Kyle Van Noy.
He's still not signed. And the argument was we want to get young. And he's 32, right? So, yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Interesting point here. I pissed off a Dolphin fan, said Tua gets his cage rattled. He'd be in concussion protocol. The interesting thing about that game, he had the ball out in a little over 2 seconds on average. It was out. And say what you want to say about our pass rush. It was there. He just got the ball out very quick. So, and he did a good enough job navigating the pocket enough. And, look, that game, they played perfectly. And they look, you got Ronaldo Hill there. You got Vic Fangio. They all know what Brandon Staley's going to do. They picked apart. Clearly, McDaniel was pissed off that they lost to us. Yeah. And they wanted to just annihilate us week one, right? And they had tons of time to play and figure out what to do. It is what it is.
And the thing about it is that, that's the right play all the time, in my opinion. Page right out of Tom Brady's book, basically. 2 seconds, throw, 2 seconds, throw, 2 seconds, throw. Just get it out of your hands quick. Like, that's literally what he did. That's the best way to neutralize a pass rush. Once again, this week is going to be different because Tannehill's not that guy. He's very much an old school quarterback, statue kind of guy, stays in the pocket, doesn't run very much at all. Different quarterback for sure, in my opinion. So we'll see how we could do, how it goes for this game.
Yeah, and we got to see what Spiller can do. I agree. I think Spiller, needs to show some things. I mean, dude, it's just crazy to me that we're like ignoring the guy. It's odd. I just don't get it. I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't understand either.
Is it
too late to trade for Derrick Henry? It's kind of an odd time. Night before.
Yeah, right before the game. Yeah, just switch sides.
You got out of your fucking mind. Rashawn Evans is still out there. Interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. What up, guys? By the way, dude, good to see you, man.
Absolutely. Okay, so offensive problem. Okay. Yeah, and this is an interesting point, Willie. I know you're a big Horvath fan, right? Offensive, and then the running backs and fullbacks get yardage. Again, I think that's really where in Moore's system he would rather have a tight end, essentially doing what a fullback does. A lot of time, and I think part of the reason why that is because if you recall, when you go 12 personnel, you have 2 tight ends on each edge. You have 1 tight end pulling to the other side. You already have that side covered for the most part. So that guy pulls over and hit another person, maybe another edge rusher, chip somebody, or somebody comes through the line. You could hit that person and seal at least the run to the edge or whatever, wherever you want to go. So there's arguments both ways about it. But I think the size and also the hands is probably the other part of the conversation, with that. So,
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the thing about it is when you got Donald Parham, Stone Smart, Donald Parham, 6'8" dude running at some linebacker or whatnot, or cornerback that's blitzing in, safety, whomever. That's a big dude to try to not, get hit by any means. Stone Smart 6'4", I believe. McKitty's about 6'4" too. So I mean,
they're big guys.
Big guys.
Yeah.
Big guys.
And you got to remember too, they also can block edge rushers. And the argument is that, fullbacks don't do a good job blocking edge rushers typically, right? They're just not that good at it. My thoughts on defense right here. This is something that cannot happen again. Clearly this happened with us. This is what we talked about at the very beginning of this, Larry. So clearly you're seeing poor whether recognition or they didn't understand what they were doing. I did have this thought the other day, and I was talking to a friend of mine about our defense, and they're like, man, you guys got gashed. And I said, it kind of hit me that Brandon Staley has a very complicated defense. I think he tends to overthink things sometimes. And maybe what he's doing is overcoaching. Remember when we interviewed Asante Samuel, James?
Yeah.
He's a very meticulous guy. He's a very meticulous guy. Maybe he's just overcoaching and micromanaging people a little too much. And maybe that's partially what we're running into. So I don't know. Just some thoughts I'm seeing.
One of the other things, just pointing out that same slide, there was first catch that Tyreek Hill had in this game. For some odd reason, singled up Khalil Mack to Tyreek Hill. And Khalil Mack's like, dude, wait a minute. I'm over here blocking Tyreek Hill. Like, I'm
no. What am I doing here?
What am I doing here? He's looking around, and then like I think Alohi's like, no, just stay up there. And it obviously just blew past Khalil Mack and got like a 15-yard catch or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I know it's like beginning of the game, but Tyreek Hill running free is not a good recipe for success by any means. Like, you can't do that. Now, those are the things, the bumps in the road. Try to get those wiggles out in the preseason because these games don't matter. That should not be happening. And so there is little things that I've been watching a little bit more about Brandon Staley that we'll see how it continues to progress. But this is a get right game for sure. This has to be a get right game for Brandon Staley.
Yeah, he tends to, I think, overthink things a little bit, right? If I do have an issue with him, it's that. But again, Thule, what if he emerges as Parsons 2.0? He could be, dude.
That'd be so good.
I mean, he's fast, man. He's fast. And yeah, Blueface Bull Stag, good job. Hey, don't think I've seen you here before. Good to see you. Hope went well. D needs to step big time. I think that's going to be 90% of this game right here, guys. I think we're going to score points no matter what. But I don't want to see a shootout. I don't want to see a shootout.
Definitely not. And I'll say one thing too. Last year's defense, when we played the Titans late last year, was totally different than this defense. They were pretty banged up, and they had a lot of twos on the field and everything too. Same could be said about us too. But at the same side, it was a different defense last year for the Titans during that time of the year. So
for sure.
We can't base last year that, we won, beat them last year. I mean, the Titans, I think last year they started out 6-1 or something like that, and then they ended up just failing for the second half of the season. So
it was pretty bad. Yeah, they kind of fell apart. Yeah, I mean, you never know. Look, I've said, Pablo, I've said this about Miami. They are a glass cannon. You guys know what a glass cannon is? It's a gamer term, right? It's like a wizard or whatever. Some guy that has a shit ton of like DPS. That's damage per second. Nerd term. Okay.
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. Nerd alert. But here's my point, right? Like, they can score, but you lose Tyreek Hill, that they're done. That's it. They're done. There's no way that they could recover off of that. So, and Tyreek Hill usually wasn't he out a few games last year, and then the timing was off, and like it's a long season, right? Like, I think I'll say this about the Dolphins. I think a lot of things have to go right for them to go very deep in the playoffs or even make the playoffs again, because again, Tua's got concussion problems, Tyreek Hill injury problems. What if Waddle goes down? And you can argue, well, these other guys who can step up. Okay, sure, but they're not Tyreek Hill. You lose Hill or you lose, Tua, and you're done. They're done. So,
Yep. I get it. I mean, that's the thing about that team. I mean, one player could just destroy your whole season pretty much. If he goes 100%. Down, that's it.
Yeah. And again, we've got to be better on, we're going to score, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they play us specifically as well too.
That's where we feel, Cody, that it's going to be on the lines, basically on the D lines, O lines for us, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's going to win and lose about the trenches.
100%. Okay. Kellen Moore, and it would be Derek Ainsley that would step up if that were to happen. I don't foresee anything like that happen. I mean, I think the wheels really have to fall off the track for that to happen as well. And by the way, someone asked earlier, Hoosman, I don't think has been signed anywhere. If I remember correctly, I don't think he's been signed anywhere.
Yeah, I think he's still out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think he is. I'm checking right now, actually, just to see.
Because I remember someone brought it up on one of our chats. And by the way, there was a hilarious chat. I don't know if it was REM who said it. It was somebody else. And I read all these chats and I said, man, I wanted to highlight it. I couldn't find it. It was something like, and for their 5th round pick, the Chargers select beers.
That's funny.
I was dying. I was like, I could not stop laughing at that. Anyways, I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, I don't think Hoosman's been picked up. So I think he's still free agent.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he has been. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, it's interesting. Third down's always tough, right? The defense always comes in and they have a very different defensive package, right? So typically if it's like 3rd and long, they can sit on these sticks, and it's very difficult to get 3rd down done, depending on the distance, right? So you're right. We do need to get better at that. I think we were we were like 9 and 20, or we convert like 40% in the last game, and that's pretty good if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I mean, we were pretty solid all around on 3rd down. So I mean, let's keep it going. I think Kellen Moore does a pretty good job of making sure we get to that 3rd down situation here. I like Pablo's question here.
Yep.
JC's got to clean it up. I know JC isn't a pitch count, but man, we want to at what point do you think he gets pulled for bonehead plays like the PI and running out of the end zone? I'll say this, man. Like, I know when I was in the stadium and I saw JC get that pickup, I literally was like, go down, go down, go down.
Yep.
And he did not go down. I mean, the thing about it is, like, one of the other podcasts talks about it, that he basically kind of golden retrievered that play. Golden retrievers always, if you know that breed, they're very, very energetic and just overly excited about everything. And he just got really excited about that. And I know he was thinking, hey, I'm going to take this 105 yards for a touchdown, for a touchy. That's going to be a tough one to do.
For a touchy.
Touchy. But like, it is a thing that I'm viewing it as JC Jackson got a pick. That's his bread and butter as his game. He's being aggressive to try to be able to find a way to make picks, and he got a couple batted passes this game. He's not far off from being that Mr. INT guy. Now, I do agree about the pitch count. That's something I'm definitely going to be watching a lot in this game. I do think he just got the wiggles out. And once again, going back to preseason, get the wiggles out in that time.
Get the wiggles out. Yep. And get it together. No, he was a quarterback. He's talked about that many times. He is actually not a defensive coordinator. Well, he's a defensive coordinator, but he's not a defensive. He didn't play defense. Nope. But he looks at it from the view of a quarterback, and that's kind of his thing. Interestingly enough, Kellen Moore was a quarterback, as we know. So they both kind of came together, and that's how they're, focused on, building the defense. Anyways, as far as Staley being in the hot seat, I don't think anytime soon, right? I think bottom line, I mean, like I said, the wheels really have to follow off the track. Yeah. Okay, here's another bold prediction by Aether.
My bold prediction: defense, 5 sacks, 3 turnovers, hold Henry under 105 yards, no touchdown. So basically you're saying they're only going to get field goals. We're going to have a really, really strong game sacks wise, and 105 yards on Henry would be good. I think last year he did about 105 yards on us too. So that wouldn't be bad.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that really is big. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Well, it's weird. It almost looked like it duplicated some of these questions here. That's funny. Okay, hold on just a sec. I could see JC Jackson get another. He almost had another one. Yeah. When what was the stupid play where he hit the guy? He was trying to intercept the ball, and then he missed it, and so he pushed him down. And I'm like, man, dude, like, don't do that. Like, there's a guy, let him catch the damn ball at that point. Who cares?
Right.
Golly, dude. Like,
he could have mossed the defender, which is basically jump over the defender, catch the ball at the high point, and take it away from him.
Yeah.
Which, the thing is, though, you're seeing glimpses of why we signed JC Jackson already. That's the thing. Like, I'm excited. And to be honest, if you look at last week's game against the Titans, Tannehill threw a lot of ducks too. And so there's a very, very good chance we're going to get some picks in this game. It would be exciting to see if it is JC Jackson that gets another one.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And Rich, check out Rich's podcast as well too. He is a Broncos fan. Don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. Actually, isn't it pronounced Broncos? I think it is pronounced Broncos.
I thought it was donkeys. I don't know.
Donkeys.
Donkeys. Yeah. But run stopping is going to be huge, man. I mean, it's going to be big, right? We should see. We had a lot of injuries last season, and we've picked up a lot of guys. We got Gerard Clark on our practice squad. We got a lot of guys that could step up when injuries start occurring. So we should see. Yep.
This is going to be the game that tells us if we do have a run defense or not.
Big time. Yep, this is it. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. And then we'll go through these final thoughts.
So offensive bold prediction. Joshua Kelly, 27 carries, 146, 8 catches, 46 yards, 3 touchies. Bro, that's a big game for Joshua Kelly. They'd be riding that guy pretty hard. I mean, that's
amazing.
That's the thing. Like a lot of running backs in the league, well, outside if you watch the Thursday night game with DeAndre Swift, he had a heavy workload on the ground, and what he had 170 something yards or whatever during that game. A lot of the NFL doesn't really try to ride running backs that hard anymore. They tend to just play like a 1-2 kind of situation, give this guy 14 to 16 carries each, and then they split basically if there's 30 something run plays, they split them between two. So they generally won't do that, and I don't think that they will do that within this game. Cool to see if Kelly could do that, though. I mean, he's a stud.
Yeah, this is an interesting conversation. I thought about this quite a bit. Like I said, the wheels would really have to fall off the track for that to happen, because then easily Moore could step in as the head coach.
Yeah.
And he could be the guy for next year. And then you have Derek Ainsley right there anyways, and he knows Brandon Staley's defense, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, walk away, you're good to go, right? And to be fair, I actually thought it was kind of funny when we actually got Kellen Moore. I thought, ooh, that could be good or very bad for Brandon Staley is what I thought. So
yeah, the one thing too is that we do have an early bye week, and I always feel like teams like to make changes at bye weeks.
True.
We got a week 5 bye, basically. I mean, that's kind of where you make your adjustments. Then again, you could be the Colts and decide to put in Jeff Saturday all of a sudden late in the season, and then that just doesn't go well. That just doesn't go well.
Oh my God, what a horrible situation that was.
Yeah, that was bad. But I look, I'll say this about this game. This is a critical game for the Chargers. And why I'm saying that is not thinking ahead, but I am thinking ahead. The Vikings are 0-2. And
all right.
Not thinking ahead, but thinking ahead.
Take it ahead.
Okay.
Take it ahead. The sale is in front of you. You got to close the sale in front of you to get to the next sale, right? It's the same thing. The
sounds like my dating life.
That's right. Yeah, this guy puts a bunch of stuff on his dating profile, man.
Hey, Kay Adams. That's right. She's my gal, dude. She's my gal. Kay Adams. Hell yeah. Sign me up.
But to my point, this game is pretty critical because you don't want to be 0-2 against another 0-2 team next week against the Vikings. That's where things get a little bit shaky. Teams get a little bit more desperate because they got to get in the win column. So this is a big, big game for the Chargers. It is, like I said, this could be a get right type game for us. You got to show this defense could do something for this one. And I do think they will show out, and it will look a lot better for us.
Yeah, and that brings up Rich's other question is coverage. You're going to see some heavy boxes, and probably man on the edges is probably what you'll see. You'll have one high safety, maybe two high safety, but I do think Derwin will probably blitz more this game. I think Derwin will be in the box a lot more, in my opinion, just because I think I do think we'll probably do more dime, and then kind of, especially since our linebackers are banged up. But we'll see who can actually go. Go from there.
Yeah. And I did see there's a video of all the Chargers getting on the bus to get onto the plane. Joey Bosa was there too. So it's going to be the guys that weren't announced as out. They will be there in Tennessee. So we'll see where they go.
I think Rich is perfectly assessing the difference between a tight end and a fullback. This is why a fullback is a dying product in the NFL, right? Like, what's the point of a fullback?
Yeah.
Because they do one thing. Now, where he was good is he was very good at special teams, but we picked up Tanner Muse, who's a linebacker, and clearly we didn't have a lot of linebackers on the team. We do have Neiman and Ogbonnia, and but again, that's 5 linebackers on the 53-man squad, right? But 2 of them are pretty much special teamers. Well, really 3, Tanner Muse. But it's interesting. So yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay, so let's see here. Yep, and that's exactly correct. And that's the problem with that slide was okay, was that just really a bad play call, or were they just making a stupid bonehead play, or like what happened there? And he's the defensive coordinator. The one thing I will say about Brandon Staley too, is he took 100% ownership of how bad we got burned. You know, that was my fault. That was my fault. That was my fault. So
his Friday after practice interview was the shortest answered.
Yes.
Like interview.
One word.
I think the guy.
That's it. Yeah.
There's a chance. Like, I mean, you look at that two ways. Is one, he's just ticked off from what happened in that last game. Two, practice sucked. Or three, he's just basically going in with a freaking fire like plan of how to basically shut down the Titans. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And now, I don't know. Either which way, I'm excited to be able to see what happens, man.
Yeah. And by the way, I do not snowboard. I actually do have a snowboard, but all those places are great. Best snow on earth, folks. I'm telling you,
Snowbird's good.
Utah is awesome. It's very fluffy. It's very nice. But Pablo, hit me up for sure when you're out here. I'll take you to some good restaurants. I'll have a good time. Hit me up. Actually, come to think of it, I don't even know if I'll be here. I might be down in Arizona. That's at least my plan right now. I like to snowbird it every winter.
Yep. Go fly south for the winter.
You'll be out here for spring training at that time.
That's right. I'll be playing pickleball with James. We'll be dominating fools.
That's right.
Show people how it's done.
Let's go.
Okay, we're running to the end here. So I just want to make sure we go through everyone's thoughts here. Oh, here we go. Ryan brought up this is a good thought. Pro Bowler under Belichick. That dude does not tolerate dumb football. So why now? I know Rich Eisen brought it up, and I know the Chargers Weekly podcast brought it up as well too. Yep. What's his name? Matt Money Smith talked about it. So
yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, they do not tolerate that by any means. I mean, I think JC Jackson, even in post game, he kind of talked a little bit about that too. And he knew what he did. He knew what he did. And I mean, just it'll get right. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I think, for all the bad that we're talking about him, he's being way harder on himself about it
100%.
than anyone else is. So I mean, we're really just preaching to the choir on that, Like he knows what he made, mistakes he made.
He knows. Yeah. He knows.
The one thing we haven't talked about, my bros, second half scoring 10 points in the fourth. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, we did better. I mean, across the board, we were scoring through the entire game, and that did not happen with Joe Lombardi, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
And Rich, enjoy him over there at Broncos country, dude. He's a freaking dipshit.
I think I want to say they didn't get any third quarter points last week too, ironically. So
let's double check here.
Yeah, I want to say that might have been the case, which is quite funny. And we did get a touchdown in the third quarter we scored on every quarter, by the way. And that's one thing that I really pointed out a lot with Kellen Moore, that we scored at every single quarter of the last game too. So let me see here. Let me look. I'm pulling up the Broncos here. I mean, that game, there was only 6 possessions for each team on that game. And yes, they did not score in the third quarter. That's funny.
Oh, that's so bad, dude. Yeah. It's comical. Like he does not do anything to change the offense at all. And he just keeps going. Yep. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? That's Joe Lombardi right there. Enjoy him, Rich. He's a dipshit. You should be running the offense, buddy. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, cool. All right, I think we're getting pretty close to the end here. Boy. Smash the Mayo Eaton Titans. Mayo Eaton Titans.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that reference is.
I was just thinking that about it. Yeah. What was that, James? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know what that one's about, but I know they got Tennessee barbecue out there, but that's about it.
Yeah.
They got
James, you were going to be out there, but it didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Yeah, I would have been eating some barbecue. I would have been, they got hot chicken, Nashville hot chicken out there. That place is good. Hatties.
I'm spicy enough, boys. You know that.
Get out of here, dude.
What's more like? I already talked about Fire Brandon say, look, look, at the end of the day, it's early in the season, folks, right? I wouldn't worry too much about any of that. We go 0-5, woo, 0-4, we'll see what happens, right? But I think a lot needs to happen before that, right?
I kind of feel like, if we did, we'd probably clean house entirely. I mean, Like, I mean, let's look at the past 11 years that Tom Telesco's been there. Like, we've only had 2 playoff appearances or something like that, like, and I mean, his management has not been that great, under him. We've had 3 coaches, none of them have been great, like, so, I mean, I still like Staley a lot, like, and all that stuff. So, like, and I think it could be a clean sweep entirely, if anything.
Well, the one thing I will say to folks, like, it's very easy to put it on somebody. Oh, it's Tom's problem because he picked people. Oh, it's Brandon Staley's problem because he picked people. There is a ton of people around. There's all of them making decisions, right? So it's not like one person is. It's not like Tom Telesco is the one guy in the room going, okay, I want that guy. I want that guy. I want that guy. And, I trade this guy. I mean, yes, he does work the trades. He works the contracts. That's fine. But it's, it's a decision by committee, right? Yeah. A lot of people are making decisions. So, I'll be honest with you. I loved our draft. I thought our draft was absolutely incredible.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I give it 100% A+ marks. So we just got to keep getting those drafts like that, especially when we're paying Herbert the way we are. So,
yep. And the thing is, though, the comment that you had too, it was a positive comment with all the bolts and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm focused on the positive, guys. Like, I'm looking ahead and I'm just looking at the positives. And there's a lot of positives from that game, for the Dolphins game, and there's a lot of things that we need to see more positive from this game. And so I'm ready for this game this weekend too.
So, hey, Bullbabes, you guys can hang out with me anytime you want. I'll show you guys a good time in Utah while I'm here. By the way, I am going to be at the Raiders game. I did buy my ticket. Guys, I will say this. If we lose, someone needs to make sure I don't get the top of SoFi Stadium and just jump off and do a swan dive, because I swear to God, we lose the Ray turds in our house. Whew, I'm on suicide watch, dude. I swear to God, ain't no chance. Dude.
I think we haven't beat them. We've actually beaten them like every single game at SoFi since, right? Yeah,
I believe so. I think
want to say so. Well.
Yeah. So,
but dude, I just, God.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's not get me started. The thick thing it's select beers. I think that's what it was. I think it was H4.
Beers.
Yeah. Beers. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. No, but seriously, and again, that's huge, folks, right? It shows that we're making adjustments, we're doing things we need to do. Yeah. And by the way, what are we paying? What is Sean Payton getting paid over there? What, $20 million a year?
18 to 20 million or something.
It's
freaking guaranteed money, folks.
Yeah.
Guaranteed money. That is stupid. I'm sorry. I think that was the dumbest thing I ever heard my whole life. Rich, what are your thoughts on it?
The ironic thing about it is their week 1 was exactly the same week 1 results as last year under Nathaniel Hackett. So now, once again, it's week 1, but like, you did miss a field goal kind of at a 55-yard point. You basically had the same outcome pretty much. So it's quite funny.
Okay. So this is the mayonnaise joke. Thank you, Cody, for explaining. I was so confused. I was like, mayonnaise? What? Will Levis has a mayonnaise contract.
Oh, that's right. The mayonnaise guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't put that together. Okay.
Forgot about that.
I'm not as funny as I think I am. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Well, isn't he dating that one chick, the skinny, what's her name? The rumor is that he is dating that from ESPN, right? What's her name?
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she
Amber
hot
Heard?
though, man. What do you say?
Amber Heard?
No, Amber Heard. No way.
Oh, she's an actress.
I know. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know. I thought that's what you guys said. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, no. What's her name? Oh my gosh. I saw a video about her. I'm like, oh my gosh, she is good looking. Bull babes. Yeah, you guys need, anyways, come say hi to us. We're going to be at the tailgate. So it looks like we're pretty good. Who needs mayo when you got mustard? I love that. Okay. Yeah, and this is a good point. It's amazing. Why do we need to keep people under 30? Like I said, I think we need our defense to be under 20, and we got a freaking expensive defense, guys. One of the most expensive defense in the leagues. Why the hell? It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
I mean, the stat is 19-4. Justin Herbert's record is 19-4 when the defense holds teams under 28. So that's a big key for us. The track record of recent 3 games has not been good for us over the 30 mark. So we got to be able to find a way to keep teams under 28. I think our offense could easily score 32, 34. 32 is an odd number, actually. 34 would probably be more probable. So
I like it. Get it together. Yeah, that's right. The Raiders hurt. Oh,
stupid Raiders.
The fans are so aggravating. Oh,
yeah. I know. I'm already dreading.
I hate going there.
Like Raiders.
I can only imagine if they're in there like 2-1 or 3-0 or 2. What was their rate? Yeah, they're the 4th week game, right? Yeah. So they're like 2-1
before the bye. We play them before the bye.
I hate that. God. I'd hate to be at that game, guys. Sorry for you guys. I'll say a prayer for you.
Yeah, I know. My sister's going to be down in LA too, so we're doing some other stuff. So that's a big reason why I came down. So it'd be good, anyways. So we'll say a little prayer for me, guys. Come on. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's
wrap it up.
Yeah. Last thoughts. Wrap it up. That's right. No glove, no love. All right. So James, you want to give us your thoughts?
So this guy, dude. This guy, man. This guy.
I'm going to hell, folks. It's official. It's official.
Yeah. So I'm going to say my last thoughts is bold prediction I already gave out there. I think Thule's going to have 2 sacks. I think that we're going to hold Ryan Tannehill to about 210 yards passing in this game. Ooh, you're going to see a big difference in that side. I think that we will do good against the run. I'm not going to say it's going to be great. I still do think that we'll give up about 100 yards rushing. But you're going to see a dramatic difference of how aggressive this defense will be. I do feel we will get 2 picks in this game, or at least 2 turnovers in that variety, fumble or an interception. I think that Justin Herbert's going to have a phenomenal game this game. Cool. I expect a big passing game from him just for the fact that the Titans have so many holes in their backfield. I think they're going to have a field day with the back end of this defense. So expect big things out of the wide receivers for the team. I mean, I even think Quentin Johnston possibly could get a touchdown in this game too.
Yeah, we need him to get it touchy. We need a touchy. Yep. Guys, he looked good out there. I say what you want to say. He looked really good out there. I thought he looked great.
He did. He looked great.
Kyle, you want to go or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go. Yeah. So I feel like, we didn't talk too much about this, but the Titans offensive line is pretty below average. So I feel like our defense is gonna they're gonna be eaten to this week. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of action from Thule, a lot of action from Mac. So I think it's gonna be pretty amazing to see what we can do for this game. And so like you said, Tannehill's throwing a bunch of ducks, whatever, and it's probably because he's getting a lot of pressures and he's getting a lot of defensive line is penetrating, so I feel like it's gonna be a tough game for them. So I don't foresee Derrick Henry getting many yards rushing or whatever, because their line is gonna crumble. And we're gonna get a bunch of sacks, a lot of tackles for loss. It's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for it. I definitely predict the Chargers to win. Our Madden prediction for this week was 38-28, I believe it was. Yep. So that'd be amazing. Let's see that.
Hey, 28-point mark again, right?
Yeah,
that's all we need to get to.
But our defense needs to do better than that, dude. I agree.
It really does.
Man. Come on, dude. It's just you don't win games in the NFL like that. Especially with the team you should beat better, right? And so that's a problem, dude. There's clearly something's going wrong defensively, right? There's an issue. And by the way, what is this Jello shop? Our Jello shop partner, Bull Babes, were you passing out Jello shots? If you were, let us know where you guys are at. We'll come by and say what's going on.
Yeah.
There was one other thought I wanted to say here. Okay. All right. Well, look, I'll say this. I do like that we brought Marlowe up. I think this is good. I think that will tell us that we're probably going to run some more dime defense, which I think is pretty good. With two linebackers out potentially, having an additional safety would be a good thing, because they may have to start, bringing some more safeties down. That would probably mean Derwin James is going to blitz more. But then Brevin Allen, I'm really curious to see. This is the second time we brought him up. I do believe, though, if you bring him up twice, you have to sign him to a contract, if I remember correctly. I know there's some contract.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's something with that. I'm going to do some more research on it. I'll put it on our page. But I do remember reading something about that off the practice squad. If you keep bringing people up off the practice squad, you have to give them a contract. You can't pay them the same way as you can with a, practice squad. A weekly, paycheck is what they get. But look, my point is, I do think this is a bounce back game for the Chargers. The defense is going to be playing pissed. Where I get concerned about that, and I will give you another analogy. I play softball quite a bit. We were down on our Thursday game a ton, 26-4. We were getting smoked.
Jeez.
Like we had 3 and outs, like 3 innings in a row, and I'm like, guys, what's going on here? And so all of a sudden we just relaxed and went out, just hit the damn ball, just hit the ball. Don't do too much to it.
Yeah.
And we literally almost came back and won. It was 27-28. We almost won.
Wow.
Bad call by the umpire. Jeez. We should have actually won the game. I was kind of pissed off, but whatever. My point is playing pissed off is a bad
game.
idea.
You guys weren't playing softball. You were playing.
Yeah. It was a football game.
27-28. Man.
It was crazy. But my point is, like, it's not good to play pissed. It is good to play pissed, but you need to keep your head on straight, right? And
right.
you need to make the right choices. I think we'll be fine. But again, we got to stop the run. That's going to be the big question. And, if you don't stop the run, that's pretty demoralizing. So
yep.
We could see a lot of butt and gut out there, 5-man front, bear fronts, we'll see what they come out with. Bear front makes sense, especially if we only have one linebacker out there. Like, let's say we have one linebacker, we'll go bear front, and that's easy. 6 men in the box. And then that's actually pretty simple. So anyways, I could talk more about that. Wait, Bolt Babes, you're doing what? Jello shots. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, okay. I'll look out for the Jello shots. Hit us up. We'll definitely see you guys as well. But let us know, shoot us a message, and we'll see you guys out there at Thunder Alley. Okay. All righty, guys. I guess that's it. Who's hitting the button?
I'll do it.
You got the button. Okay.
Let's get out of here, guys. Good show.
Boys.
We'll do a post-game show after the game too, by the way, guys.
That's right. That's right.
Excited for the game. And once again, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video. We always appreciate the support, guys. Let's get out of here.
All right, Bo Bros.
Let's go.
Let's go.